Hi guys, welcome to episode 2 of Navigating Adulthood on Let's Talk with Eva. I am your girl Oluwatomi TV and I am excited to have you in my space. Today I'll be talking about a really important topic and it's sometimes tough. I hope I'm not going to offend anyone with what I'm about to say, but even if some people get slightly offended, they should not vex. It's how they made me feel. Anyways, this is something that affects a lot of people and it's crucial to talk about it openly. I want to start by sharing my personal experiences in the workplace. I've been quite fortunate. I don't know if fortunate is the word or unfortunate to work at a number of places. I got my first job after secondary school. It was a teaching job. And at first, I enjoyed it. I realized that I enjoyed teaching. I enjoyed impacting knowledge. It's so fun for me and it kind of comes easily to me. So I got the job. Along the line, everything started falling apart because I was hot-tempered and temperamental. Also, my boss found out about my age, which he started using against me every time. I'm not saying that is exactly what happened from his perspective, but from my perspective, that is what happened because every time I did something he was not really a fan of, you start with, my daughter, I have a daughter that is your age, kinikon. That's none of my business. This is a workplace. And I've always had the mentality that workplace should be treated different from a cultural place. Yes, we are cultural people, but if we say we are maintaining professionalism, then let's do that. Anyways, it got really unbearable for me because there will always be one complaint or the other. Now, I am not saying I had good character. I was hot-headed. I didn't like being told what to do. I would do what I needed to do. Of course, I didn't have any any issues with my lesson notes or the way I teach. It is just issues with authority. You're supposed to do this, or I said this and you looked at me that way, or one thing or the other, and it was really exhausting. So I quit that job. I got another. My experience there was quite okay. It was just the parents that were giving one issue or the other. Like I said, I was hot-headed. God is taking control currently, so my head is calming down. It's warm now, but back then I was on fire, literally. And I didn't have issues with the management at all. I was doing my job. I was doing extra. I would go the extra mile just to ensure that my students understood what I was teaching. I can say that confidently anyway. Don't try me. Anyways, I did what I needed to do, but I was having issues with the parents. It was a private school, so the parents can be funny at times. Anyways, that was that. I think I'm saying anyways too much. Okay, I'll try to work on that. Then I gained admission. I did my first teaching practice and was kind of retained. Not exactly retained, but I was working there part-time and the experience was fun. Like at my first year, I was not really talking to anybody. I just come do my job and leave. By the second year, I had started warming up to people. Please note, I really do not talk to people like that. So I'm not really a talking person. I really just like minding my business, pressing my phone and doing what needs to be done. I don't really like relating with people a lot. We'll get there. We'll get to the reason why. But in this particular episode, I just felt the need to mention that. So some people might take it as being standoffish or being proud. Actually, I'm not being proud. I just feel like I didn't have anything to say at that point, so why should I talk? If I have something to say, definitely I would say it. I would walk up to the person. I'm not ashamed to ask for help when it comes to the workplace, because I know some people would come for me with that one. But like relating with people, getting personal, getting all chummy, I find it quite difficult to do. But eventually, I started warming up to people there. They became my family in the workplace. Like, I became a menace, so to say, because I was always disturbing everybody. But at the same time, I was doing my work. I didn't have issues with anybody. I still do not have issues with anybody, except for one person, of course. And that was because he crossed his bounds with me. Yeah, like, I understand you asked me out, but there was no need for you to come and start saying nonsense to me. So that was the only person that I do not talk to in the workplace. But aside from him, I was fine with every other person, and they were fine with me as long as I know. Because yes, we still keep in touch, we still have good relationship. Then I did my second TP. TP means teaching practice. I was taken to a school in August State. And, it was fine also. I did my job. My cooperating teacher liked me. She usually says that I'm a born teacher, like I'm a natural at teaching. Of course I am. Hey, it's God that created me now. But anyways, I didn't have any issues in that school too. I didn't have issues with the staff. It was a nice place. I did my work and I got out, right? Then service year came and I was posted to Osho. Oh my God. Oh my God. Osho is a story on its own. The workplace, to be honest, was toxic for me. Right from the resumption day that I stepped in, I was not comfortable in that space. I really was not comfortable. I tried everything I can. I thought probably I was being paranoid or something. Maybe because I did not want to serve in Osho. Maybe that was why I was feeling reluctant to. No, I wasn't. That place was a different breed of toxicity. But I tried to do my work. I did my work. Once it comes to my job, I do not play about it. Writing lesson notes is not a problem. Marking the notes, I'm good. Writing the notes on the board, no problem. Teaching, I enjoy it, But when it comes to my major issue there, or the major issue they had with me there, was I mind my business. And I do not, I honestly, for the life of me, cannot understand why somebody will have a problem with somebody else minding their business. I do my work. I'm not feeling comfortable with you all, so I do my work and I get out. But then there was a point one of the vice principals was like, I don't even like you. You act as if you are better than every other person here. You just come in and you go out. You are a family here. Any workplace I hear with a family here, honestly, I cannot. Although I've had a good experience in a workplace where we treat each other as family, but at the same time, these people will be telling you we're family here, we're family here. Yeah, people are not related like family. That you are gossiping about each other, you're backbiting each other, you are sabotaging another person's work. Hey, it's serious, because they don't like each other. You can see it. It's very glaring that they do not like each other. But you see them being chummy with each other. They're doing eye service. I do not know how to do eye service. I'm sorry. Let me just do my work and get out. They made that place hell for me because it was affecting me, really. I did not let them see it was affecting me because I just acted like I was nonchalant. But when I got home, I was always feeling down because every day every day had its drama. There was one drama for one day, sometimes multiple drama. Osho was a different breed for me. Although I found a respite with a friend that I made at camp, even though my camping experience was on that thing. But I made a friend and he was also serving in Osho. So it was my support system at that point, because every time I felt like I needed a break, I'll just reach out to him and we would hang out. And that was the only times that I felt happy, that I felt contented, and I felt at peace when I was in Ocean. Thankfully, I had friends that would listen to me write, and I rant a lot, as you can obviously see or hear. You can't see me, you can hear me. But that was Ocean. 6 months into my service year, I relocated out of Osun to Lagos, Ekpe. And, when I got into this workplace, I found it nice. It was easy. It was better than Osun. Honestly, the toxicity in my workplace, at my workplace in Osun, oh my God. It was something you could cut with a knife. But here, I felt at peace generally. Until they started. And their starting was not exactly, it wasn't active. What's the word I'm supposed to use? Not aggression. But there was something passive going on. I did my work. I did what I needed to do. I was the social media manager. They gave me a phone and I was using that phone to create content, So I'll take it with me because I lived in the school compound. I'll take it with me to the hostel where I stayed and just continue working. I really did not take time out for myself. I was always doing the work. Until one day they said, the proprietor said I should drop the phone every Friday because she felt that I was using the phone for personal gains. I have my own phone. My phone works fine. I don't know, maybe it was she's using an Android versus we gave her an iPhone thing. But I don't know what happened. They just said I should drop the phone. I'm like, all right, I'll do you one better. Every day when I close from work, I'm dropping your phone, which I started doing. And that meant I do not work after hours. Right? They had a problem with that. I was simply following your instruction. I only did you one better so that you will not feel that the Monday to Friday that I'm going with the phone, I am probably using your data or something. Let me drop it so that you know that I did not even use it at all. I only used it during school hours. And then they started coming up with one or two things. She's lazy, she's this, she's that. Well, I know that people's opinion of me do not matter. It does not justify who I am. At the same time, you people should rest now. Now, I have noticed in this explanation, my not so short explanation of my journey in the workplace, I've noticed that private-owned organizations, school in particular to me, usually do a lot. They give their staff or whoever is working in their organization a lot of problems, which is not supposed to be so. It's not supposed to be so. Because why is it that you people just don't want your staff to have peace at all? And really, there was constant negativity. There was a lack of support from management and unhealthy competition among colleagues. Honestly, the sabotage was a lot in private institutions, especially my last two. Oh my God. It was affecting me, to be honest. When I was in Ocean, I would cry myself to bed every night because everything was wrong. I would call my mom. I want to quit this NYC thing. I do not want to do it anymore. I cannot continue in this place. And you could not talk to the LGI because he was in court with the school. So even if you tell him, it will be like you're lazy. When I was leaving Ocean, when I told them that I was relocating, I told them I was relocating on health grants, which I was. I did not have access to medical care, the medical care that I needed, and I did not have access to my drugs. When I say drugs, sounds somehow, so my medications, right? So I had to relocate. One of the vice principals there was like, she's leaving because she cannot handle the job. Are you minding yourself? Which job? That place was so negative. But let's go into it. Anyways, what are the things that made me know that workplace was toxic? First of all, I was stressed all the time. I would want to go to work and I'm stressed. I was tense. I was having panic attacks constantly. Hey. Anyways, poor communication. Let me start with Ocean. They do not share communication. They'll just, I don't know, maybe they think that I am Arinuro de Olumoroko. Translated in English, it means person that sees and knows the thought of another's heart. Why would you not disperse information the way it's supposed to be dispersed? You won't tell people things and you just expect them to know it. Whereas you guys are coming up with ridiculous rules. So what they say today is different from what they're saying tomorrow. Yes, so when they do not share communication effectively and you are constantly being left in the dark, please note, it's a red flag. Also, when you don't have support from management, the management are usually more focused on being critics than providing constructive feedback. I beg. Unhealthy competition, when one member of staff is trying to outdo the other, or when they are trying to sabotage another person's work by being all chummy, doing eye service, being all chummy with the management, so they look good in the eye of the management rather than the other person. Yes, like I said, this topic is kind of personal to me, so I apologize for all my Itara. How do you translate Itara to English? Pepper body. Oh my god. Okay, also, workplace is toxic when people are constantly leaving because they cannot cope. Yeah, the staff they have today is different from the one they have tomorrow. When I was serving in Ocean, the school was grossly understaffed. So they were using the core members like rags, nonsense people. Hey, like I said, go on, let me get into trouble with everything I'm saying. But yes, this is how I feel. Anybody that does not like that, please go and drink water. Also, okay, negative atmosphere. When the overall vibe of a place is negative and there's a lot of gossiping and backstabbing, please, it's a red flag, a serious red flag. What's the effects of workplace toxicity? It can be severe, and I do not think these people realize that. I think some people are just experts at being wicked. They do not realize that it comes naturally to them. You don't even know that you're being wicked or you're being mean or you're being bitter. You are just affecting another person the wrong way. Please, workplace toxicity can impact your health, which it did for me, mentally and physically, because I was having crisis so often. I would just start crying. Like I said, I'm a crybaby, so I cry a lot. I try not to, but when things get too overwhelming for me, I start crying. So there's that. You can get depressed. It can affect your physical health. It affected my health physically because, something that was being managed could not even be managed anymore. And I started having crises more often. You have burnout, you have sleep problems, you have chronic illnesses, and you are so unhappy. Your unhappiness begins to affect your work productivity. Now, how did I cope? I set boundaries. Yes, I did set boundaries. I didn't really let what they said get to me, or I didn't even show that it got to me. I just did my work and I got out. So if you know you are coming to me to say something that was irrelevant, I won't give you audience. So they learned to come to me when it was work related and not anything out of that. Which reminds me of one time when I complained to the management that somebody was touching me inappropriately and I do not like it. Also, I would not like to disrespect the person because I have warned him severally about the way he was acting towards me. Guess what the management said? That was an option. They said, no, you're taking this thing out of context. That's just the way it is. You're getting used to it. Why would you tell me that I'll get used to being touched inappropriately in the workplace? You will pretend his pen fell and start touching my feet and start telling me I have a smooth skin. What the heck? Are you telling me I'll get used to it? After telling you that this person is touching me inappropriately and I do not like it and I do not want to hey. And they said I'll get used to it. And I told them I would not get used to it. So it's either you take a step against this thing or I react. And when I react, nobody should say shit to me about the way I reacted because I had come to you. Yes, setting boundaries. Let's go back to that. So it's important to protect your personal time and space and don't let work consume your life. It's very essential that we do that because people really do not care about your mental health. If you give them your mental health or your space, if you just let anybody in, they will trash it. So if you allow yourself be a dustbin that people can throw trash on, they would do that. And they would expect you to keep on taking it because you've started taking it. Next is seek support. I had people that I could talk to about the way I was feeling and how they were making me feel. I knew the people that were making me feel that way would not even listen to me, but I had a support system who I could talk to and talk about things with, and I got better just by talking about it. I was able to cope better from talking about it. So yes, find colleagues or mentors or friends you can trust and talk to them about the things that you are experiencing. Also, practice self-care. Make sure you're taking care of yourself outside of work, whether you are exercising, whether you have hobbies you're doing, spending time with loved ones. Ensure you take care of yourself. The way I took care of myself was minding my business. I read, I invested in headphones. So once you see my headphones in my ear, please don't talk to me. Although I did not take my headphones to work. I had AirPods, so once they're in my ears, I am not listening to what anybody's saying. At least that helped me in the workplace. Also, I drank water and minded my business, like I've been saying since, and I just took time to care for myself. When I needed a break, I took a break. I do not bring work home. I don't do any work at home. I did that initially in my current workplace, but I stopped doing it because it felt like it was consuming me. And when they gave me an out, because to be honest, I would have continued doing that, but they gave me an out and I took it. So yes, take care of yourself. Take a break from work. If it's possible for you not to take work home, then don't take work home. And document incidents. Have a record of incidents or patterns of behavior that contributes to the toxic environment. For instance, the guy I reported to the management who was touching me inappropriately, they were like, you get used to it and all. That was the first time. The second time, my breaking point was when I had a crisis. I had to be rushed home from work. He came to see me. People were around, just coming to say, "Hi, how are you doing?" and all. And this guy was touching my lips, like out of nowhere, he just touched my lips, and I shouted at him in front of the people there. And the next day, I went to report to management again. Like, it has happened in front of people. So if at first I'm saying this person is touching me inappropriately and you're telling me things that I don't want to hear, now it has happened in front of people, and they told him that, why would you do that? Eventually, they took me out of the class. The guy and I did not talk again until I think my last week there, when it was like, I'm being proud and I'm not talking to him, blah blah blah. And I'm like, bro, you did something that was wrong. I called you out on it. You did not like me calling out on it. We avoided each other. It's that simple. Anyways, yes, so there's a point where you might need to take action if the situation does not improve. If there is anybody you can report to, maybe human resource or management, if they would listen, definitely go ahead. If it does not help, it's probably time to look for another job. Leave that environment, because it will probably make you happy or take your life, one of the two. And in extreme cases, you might have to go legal. But if you can, just leave. Anyways, this is my opinion on workplace toxicity. I would love to hear back from you. Have you ever dealt with a toxic workplace? How did you cope? And what advice would you give to others in a similar situation? Please share your stories and tips with me on social media. We still have our Instagram account, which is ava_pod, or through email. Let's go that route. So if you have an email you'd like to share on how, you've been, maybe on how a toxic workplace has affected you, send me an email on rotiboluwatomisin@gmail.com, ROTIBIOLUWATOMISIN@gmail.com. I would love to hear from you. Thank you for tuning in today. Navigating workplace toxicity is challenging, but it's important to recognize the signs and take steps to protect yourself and your well-being. In our next episode, we'll be discussing another interesting topic on navigating adulthood, which is managing finances and budgeting. Stay tuned for that. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share this podcast with your friends. Take care, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.